Fox Sports.
We are Black We are Wisconsin.
He had been struggling recently, but no longer. Travis Shaw coming off a big series in Denver. His last half-dozen games have been good. He's homered 3 times, and he has driven in 7 in that stretch. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks' A.J. Pollock, the National League's Player of the Month in April. And May isn't so bad either. His 33 RBIs ranking 2nd in the National League. Shaw and Pollock, Brewers and Diamondbacks. Game 1 coming up. From Denver to the desert, stop number 2 in this 3-city road swing for the Milwaukee Brewers. Fresh out of taking 3 out of 4 against the Rockies. It is the first of 3 tonight with the Arizona Diamondbacks as the Brewers continue to play pretty well. Domingo Santana and company have won 8 of their last 12 games. It has the Brewers right now atop the National League Central. The Diamondbacks off to a great start, but May has had its share of bumps. They still lead the NL West by 2.5 games. They're trying to get Paul Goldschmidt going. Uncharacteristically low numbers for him so far this season. Good evening from inside Chase Field. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. We'll be hearing from Sophia Minute per usual tonight. Well, Rock, this Brewers team has been playing pretty well, and it just so happens they've been on the road quite a bit, but playing good, solid baseball heading into this series with Arizona.
Yeah, top to bottom, and it's a good thing that they're playing very well on the road because they've had a lot of road games in the middle of a stretch of 19 of 24 games away from Miller Park. And you're right, it's not that they're on the road. I think they're just playing solid baseball. Last 7 games, 6-1, really started to get the bats going in Colorado, and you got to believe that that's going to happen here in Arizona because these Diamondbacks, on paper, they can swing the bats, and you know they're going to start getting hot fairly quickly, but it's been all about the pitching. Defense has been pretty good, and that bullpen for the Brewers, unbelievable work out of that bullpen, which is one of the reasons why they're having the record that they have at this point.
All right, Craig Counsell hands the ball to Junior Guerra. His first 4 starts were good. The last 2, not so good. Sophia Minute will take a look at the recipe for success for tonight's starters. We get you ready for first pitch.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. The next step of the Brewers' 10-game road trip is Chase Field, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a look at tonight's starters in Game 1 of this 3-game series. For the Brewers, it will be Junior Guerra in his career 0-1 record, but a 3.09 earned run average against Arizona. And for the D-backs, it'll be Patrick Corbin, a 2-4 record, and a 5 ERA in 6 career starts against the Brewers. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minard here at Chase Field. Junior Guerra getting ready for his 7th start of the season. He has struggled over his last 3 starts, however. He's given up 10 runs in 16 innings pitched, and he'd like to get back to the form in terms of how he started the season. You see the splits in his first 4 starts, 2-1 record. The earned run average under 1 at .82. The opponent average 1.76. In his last start against Cleveland, he gave up 1 home run, but the 9 strikeouts, a good indication that he's not far from where he wants to be.
I missed just 1 pitch, the 3-run home run, but I think everything is good. My fastball, my velo, my command is really good. I think my quality pitch is the team for the next game. Plan is throw strike is the best thing. The throw strike and make quality pitch and keep deep in the game and get a chance to win.
The Brewers won 3 out of 4 in their 4-game set against the Colorado Rockies over the weekend. They look to continue that road success here at Chase Field here tonight. It'll be Guerra and Corbin on the mound, and the first pitch lineups coming up next.
The roof is open, 91 degrees, crystal clear sky, beautiful weather out here in Phoenix, Arizona, as the Brewers now begin the 2nd of 3 stops on this road swing for Craig Counsell's Milwaukee Brewers, taking 3 out of 4 against the Rockies in Denver, including yesterday 7-3, and the masterful debut from pitcher Freddie Peralta was just terrific, and then the bullpen cleaning up as well. Let's check out the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Lorenzo Cain, Domingo Santana, Jesus Aguilar at the top, Shaw, Perez, and Pena in the middle, Jonathan Villar, Orlando Arcia, and Junior Guerra rounding out the Brewers batting order against a tough lefty tonight in Patrick Corbin.
Hey, he's got it going on. The numbers outstanding for Corbin. He's got a complete game, 4-0. All 4 of his wins have come here at Chase Field this year. His Chase Field earned run average is 1.32. So he's been pitching very well at home this year.
Lorenzo Cain leading things off and going after the first pitch. And we are underway
Temperature
here
outside,
in Phoenix.
94 degrees,
That
9-4.
series opener against the Rockies, he went after the first pitch, something he doesn't do a ton of leading off games, but it was a productive swing out in Denver as he sent one over the wall in center field. And Daniel Descalso taking away extra bases from Cain. And there's the first out, and there's an idea already of how good this Diamondbacks defense is.
Best defense in all of baseball. They've committed only 12 errors. Unbelievable work. They've committed just 1 error in their last 11 games, errorless in their last 6. And Descalso, a nice backhand pickup and an easy throw to first. They're not going to beat themselves, these Diamondbacks. You got to beat them.
Yeah, they have been airtight with the glove work as Domingo Santana settles in. Brewers making a late changeup in their lineup tonight. Ryan Braun not available. Mid-back tightness will have Brawny out, so a little shuffling of the deck for Craig Counsell. And Santana hits in the 2-hole here tonight for Milwaukee.
And Brawny a little uncomfortable in the game yesterday in Colorado. Really wasn't feeling like he was able to swing the bat like he would like, and obviously back giving him a problem today.
Let's look at that slider from Patrick Corbin. Very effective pitch for him. Santana's starting to swing a better bat. It's a good tester tonight against Corbin, who has been very good in this ballpark this season. As Santana will go down, swinging and securing it. Murphy for out number 2.
Well, let's check out the rest of the defense for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We've mentioned that, the best in all of baseball: Peralta, Pollock, and Souza in the outfield. Descalso, Ahmed, Marte, and Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt, Gold Glover over at first base, and John Ryan Murphy behind home plate. Diamondbacks have 3 catchers on their active roster.
And they've had that throughout this season. They've had all kinds of troubles getting Alex Avila going behind the plate. Like the work and maybe moving forward with John Ryan Murphy. Jeff Mathis is the 3rd catcher that they use. 2 outs, bases empty for Jesus Aguilar. Jesus on base a lot in the series in Colorado. Took a lot of walks, got hit by a pitch, and helped break the game open yesterday afternoon with a 3-run homer. Quickly down, 2 strikes and nothing.
Try to load up as many right-handers as you can, and that Patrick Corbin slider is a nasty pitch. He throws a lot of them, probably more than his fastball, actually. Not something you see every day.
They say the velocity of that fastball has gone down maybe a tick or so, but with that slider as good as it is, you just have to look at his numbers. They have been outstanding.
Yeah, sliders down, fastballs up.
And he gets a strikeout on said slider from Jesus Aguilar, and the Brewers go quietly here in the first. Good start to the night for D-back starter Patrick Corbin as the Brewers do not score, and now it's Junior Guerra's turn to take the Chase Field now. As we mentioned, his first 4 starts were good. Looking to recapture that formula as the Diamondbacks come up in the home half of the first. Let's get to the Diamondbacks batting order presented by Potawatomi. Peralta, Descalso, and Goldschmidt at the top. A.J. Pollock gets cleanup. Steven Souza fifth. Ketel Marte, Nick Ahmed, John Ryan Murphy, and Patrick Corbin. Rounding out the Diamondbacks order is Junior Guerra ready to go to work, and he misses outside with a fastball for ball one. Peralta, Daniel Descalso, and Paul Goldschmidt here in the bottom of the first.
Yep, 7th start for Junior Guerra. Started out 2-0. He's lost his last 3. But did pretty good work his last time out against the Indians. It was a 4-batter stretch in the 4th inning that included a 3-run home run. The only damage against Junior. He hadn't really been able to manage his pitch count all that well in his last 2 starts. Near 100 pitches in 5 innings in both starts.
Yeah, you're right. Tyler Naquin broke open that game. Junior was working against the Indians, and it got away quickly as Peralta will bounce out to Aguilar.
Well, let's check out the Brewers defense. These guys have been picking it pretty well, picking it and throwing it. It's better defense as of late. Perez, Kane, Santana. You got Shaw, Arcia, VR, Aguilar from third to first. Manny Pena behind home plate. Original lineup had Perez at second, Braun in left. And Jonathan VR added to the starting lineup with Braun's back issue.
And there's Perez, the ultimate utility player. Daniel Descalso now at the plate. Mentioned this Diamondbacks team has scuffled offensively. We say that a lot. We just got done with a series watching the Brewers and the Rockies. And the Brewers obviously started to come out of it. The Rockies, you assume, will. As Descalso sends one in the air toward Hernan Perez. Out number 2. It's a matter of time, and from the Brewers' perspective, you hope that starts Thursday. But again, this is another lineup that just looks too good to be held down.
I mean, all around baseball, but you know, we've been saying that now for a couple of weeks. You figure they're going to snap out of it. And this is the guy that has been really interesting for the Diamondback. He has just not been able to get on track. Paul Goldschmidt, you hope that continues at least for 3 days.
Yeah, he is, as you can see by the numbers, a major headache for the Brewers. It's been a major headache, period. He's 5-time All-Star, always in the mix for the MVP. Runner-up a couple of times, finished 3rd last year. But among the things that's happening to Goldschmidt right now is that he's striking out at an alarming rate. It's not something that has been a part of his career.
He's had a number of stretches, you know, 5 for 50s so far this year. He had a stretch of about 10 games where he was really swinging the bat well, but that didn't last all that long. You see where he ranks in strikeouts in the National League, top of the list with Trevor Story. We just saw Story with the Rockies.
And Story hit the ball pretty well in that series. Goldschmidt has a strikeout rate of nearly 31%. For his career, it's 22. I mean, this guy does pretty much everything well, including win Gold Gloves. He just has not caught the rhythm that he's accustomed to so far this year. Junior gets the corner.
And that's what Junior needs to do a better job of tonight, manage that pitch count. He needs to be able to get outs early in counts. A lot of long counts in that start against the Indians.
Goldschmidt sends one to Lorenzo Cain. He'll have room. And that'll do it for the Diamondbacks. So good clean innings for both Patrick Corbin and Junior Guerra. We are through 1 scoreless in the desert.
98.7 FM, Arizona Sports Station.
Arizona, no score. And let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. Talk about Junior Guerra. He had to be more efficient with his pitches. He had 100 pitches in each of his last 2 starts in 5 innings. Sliders are going to go around for everybody. Right-handers, left-handers. Actually throws more sliders than fastballs. And we already talked about the tight defense for the Diamondbacks. 1 error last 11 games, although the Brewers defense has been much better.
Travis Shaw leading off the second for Milwaukee. Mentioned he's had a pretty good last half dozen games. Had himself a good series in Denver. 7 for 17 against the Rockies and a couple of long home runs. He had been scuffling. He went through one of those 5 for 50s, but like as you mentioned, Shaw's one of those guys. You know, he hit a skid, but his approach, it prevents it from being any longer than that. He snapped out of it, certainly in Denver.
Yeah, and he just has a nice even swing. Keeps the bat in the hitting zone a long time, even against lefties. There's a lot of damage to left center against left-handers. It's a tough matchup for Travis, the only left-handed bat in the Brewers lineup tonight. You can see covering both sides of the plate extremely well in that series against the Rockies. I mean, fastballs in, breaking pitches away, and launching low fastballs. We've seen him do that a number of times and able to slice one down the line. So he'll go line to line for his hits. That's why he had the success that he did in Colorado.
Confetti flying. 2-2 pitch, and there's strikeout number 3 for Patrick Corbin.
Yep, and all the strikeouts coming on the slider. And slider. Going to throw a fastball, top out about 92.
Left field, number 14.
And it really doesn't throw much else.
Perez.
That's just a quick, late breaking slider that stays in the strike zone a long time and then disappears as it gets to home plate.
One away here in the second for Hernan Perez. Let's look at a curveball from Corbin for strike 1. That curveball, by the way, for Corbin at times can come in the high 60s. Up the line, and it will be a foul ball. One of the things we're starting to see with this Brewers team right now are some of these bats that had been scuffling for quite a while. Hernan Perez showing signs. Domingo Santana, Pena, Darnell Cole's working constantly. Jason Lane as well with those guys. And in Colorado, maybe even a little bit before that, started to see at least some indication that they were headed in the right direction.
Kind of a tough job. You're hitting coach. You have to figure out what you're working on for 12 different guys. I mean, it's not the same for everyone.
A ball, 2 strikes. And yet another strikeout on yet another slider. 2 up, 2 down in the second.
Yeah, Corbin averaging almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's how good he's been with the strikeouts. He's had strikeout games of 12 and 11 this year. That's just a nasty pitch.
And Darnell has his work cut out for him against this left-hander. The Brewers, period, have their work cut out. He gives up 5 hits per 9 innings. We'll see where he is among the punch-out leaders. As there's that high 60s curveball to Manny Pena. Pena with that big home run on Friday, capping a comeback from 6 down, and he rips one down the line. That's the first hit of the night. Manny Pena will have himself a 2-out double.
They tried to slip the fastball by him on the inside corner after a couple of off-speed pitches, and Manny not fooled by it and able to rip it down the line, able to keep it fair. And Murphy sitting up inside. Looked like Corbin left it out over the plate just enough for Manny to be able to hit it hard down the line and left.
So the Brewers with a runner in scoring position as Corbin gets set to work now against Jonathan Villar. are part of the lineup shuffle here tonight, with Ryan Braun not available with the mid-back tightness. Hernan Perez was going to be at second, Braun in left, but now Perez in left and VR inserted in the lineup and hitting on the side of the plate. That has been a lot of trouble for him. Corbin leads the National League in multiple categories. His whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, .82.
Leads the league in opponent batting average, 164. I guess you get the picture. This guy's been pretty good.
Yeah, he has been more than solid. Complete game already on his resume, mid-April against the Giants. 14-game winner last year, and that really indicated that he was fully back after having Tommy John surgery. That was a few years ago. He was going to be their opening day starter in 2014, but missed all of that season. Didn't return until early July of 2015. And in 2016, Corbin was in the rotation, but struggled to the point where they moved him to the bullpen. But last year it started to come all together for him. Beyond the record, the fact that he was able to take his turn 32 times in the rotation.
Yeah, first season for him was 2012. So he's been with the Diamondbacks his entire major league career.
2-2 to VR. He has to block that slider from Corbin, a full count.
And that's the pitch the Brewers have to lay off of, but yeah, much easier said than done. That slider that starts in the strike zone, then ends up down. That's when he gets his strikeouts.
Orlando Arcia waits on deck. Brewers have the first scoring opportunity of the night, courtesy of Pena's two-out double. And that is through, a base hit. Here comes Pena, and he will stop at third, not challenging the arm of David Peralta. And Brewers have him at the corners with 2 men out.
Yep, usually Ed Cedar is going to be very aggressive and send a runner with 2 outs. You don't expect to get too many hits in an inning against this guy. Not sure what happened here. It looked like Manny was going to be sent around, but really didn't get a very good jump. Peralta had the baseball about the same time as he hit third base, and had he gone, he would have been out.
So with 2 outs, Pena at third, VR over at first. And here is Orlando Arcia.
Like almost automatic in situations like that where you're going to send a runner. It's okay to make the third out at home plate, especially with the bottom of your order coming up, but for whatever reason, and it was probably a good decision that they didn't send him, he would have been out. But typically you take the risk. Didn't do it this time.
Let's see if Arcia can pick him up here. Get Pena around as he waves and misses at that slider. 0-2. First 2 games of the Rockies series, the Brewers were pretty good, very good with runners in scoring position, and then it tumbled. And they're 4 out of the last 29. And that includes that hit a moment ago by Jonathan VR. 2 strikes and nothing to Arcia.
Yeah, 3 for 17 for the Brewers yesterday with runners in scoring position in a victory.
Yeah, a 4-run victory.
That doesn't happen all that much.
Got the long ball going. Shaw went deep, and Aguilar with the 3-run homer. Even on Saturday night when the Brewers had but 5 hits, they stranded 9. They went 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and now VR gets hung up. And they're going to let him get second base as they were Leary of Manny Pena breaking for home, so VR gets second, and the Brewers have 2 runners in scoring position, and that was interesting.
I'm not sure why Goldschmidt didn't throw to second base. You have Manny Pena at third base. I mean, you're not talking about a guy that has blazing speed. You can see Manny kind of flat-footed there. If I'm Goldschmidt, I make that throw.
Yeah, that inning is over.
Even if VR gets in a rundown, they have plenty of time to throw to home. I guess if you're Goldschmidt, you have Corbin on the mound. You've got a 1-2 count on a number 8 hitter. And worst case scenario, you put Arce on and you pitch to Guerra. I guess all that going through Goldschmidt's mind.
A little conservative right now, huh?
Yeah.
We're running off tackle.
3 yards at a pile of dust.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Orlando Arce.
That's a lot to be thinking about in a play like that, huh?
Orlando has worked into a full count.
I just want to see if he's going to chase that slider in the dirt.
Busy inning on the mound, 20+ pitches from Patrick Corbin as Guerra waits on deck. 22, as a matter of fact, in this inning from the left-hander. Pena third, VR at second. And a little pop-up that will keep Arce rather alive. Is unable to get to it. Goldschmidt and John Ryan Murphy.
Slow curveball that time. Throwing a few more curveballs than we thought he would. Trying to keep this Brewers attack off balance a little bit.
Corbin was an all-star in 2013. 14-game winner. 28 years old, New York native. Extended at bat here for Arcia in the second. And there's a base hit. It's going to score a pair. Pena is in. VR is in. Arcia to second with a 2-run double. There you go.
Yeah, one too many breaking pitches, right? Left that one up. That's a good at bat by Orlando. Well, he fell behind in the count 1-2 quickly, able to lay off some tough breaking pitches, and then Corbin leaves one up. I don't know about that. You got first base open, pitcher on deck. You go right after Arce to cost you a couple of runs. You combine that with Goldschmidt holding on to the baseball on the stolen base attempt. So Orlando Arcia making him pay.
Go from conservative to aggressive, and Arcia with a 2-run double as Junior Guerra steps to the plate. The Brewers spotting Guerra a couple of early runs tonight. Patrick Corbin with a 2.12 ERA coming into this game, gives up 2 early ones. In the air to center. It's A.J. Pollock. And that'll do it for Milwaukee in the second inning, but a good inning it was. A couple of doubles, a single, and a 2-run frame against Patrick Corbin. And 2 out. 2-run double off the bat of Orlando Arcia. Scoring Pena and VR to open up the scoring tonight here in Phoenix. 2-0 Brewers in the second.
Garcia gives the Brewers a 2-0 lead here in the second inning at Chase Field. And for the Brewers, they won 3 out of 4 at Coors Field against the Colorado Rockies. And Craig Counsell says when you look at the schedule, he says you know right away it stands out to you. That one was going to be a tough series. He said you know you're playing a good team in the Rockies. It's a tough place to play in Coors Field. A 4-game set, and he said especially considering the pitching carousel that they had to overcome, he said it was a very good series for their team to come away with 3 wins and a good start to the road trip. He also thought the offensive approaches were much better. He thought that they were aggressive in the strike zone, and he said one thing that they did well, he said an area where they've struggled is often laying off of expansion on the zone. So he said the pitches off and in, or even harder, he said those sliders away from the plate. He said that when we can overcome those things, it puts us in a much better place offensively. He thought they did a much better job of that in the weekend series.
When you're feeling a little bit better at the plate, you're not, expanding the zone a little bit. You're waiting back. You're more comfortable at the plate. And a lot of times, when you're swinging about, well, you don't even mind hitting with 2 strikes, something that a team that swings and misses a lot, tries to avoid. That's why they attack early in the count. But yeah, bottom of the order, we talked about the entire series in Colorado, talking about being patient. Bottom of the order was getting it done. They got on base and were driving in some runs.
Yeah, it's part of the formula that Craig Counsell's been looking for. Certain positions where the offense hasn't been there. That's beginning to change as A.J. Pollock leads off the second for the Diamondbacks. And he takes a look at a called third strike as Guerra pumping it in there at 95 for out number 1.
Right field.
And Pollock can't believe it. It looks like Todd Tishner's giving the edge. Maybe a half-inch off the outside corner. And Pollock had no idea that was going to be called a strike. He figured that was off the plate right from the beginning.
1 out to the second as Steven Souza steps to the plate. Still trying to work himself back into rhythm. He returned to the lineup on May 4th. Just 10 days ago. He had been out with a shoulder injury since late in spring training, making a diving catch. Former Tampa Bay Ray. Souza coming over to the Diamondbacks, part of a 3-team deal. Yankees also were involved. Looking for a little more punch. Had a big power year last year with the Rays. They lost J.D. Martinez to free agency. As you can see, and we just mentioned, he's trying to find the rhythm at the plate, and that's something that he is still in search of, hitting just a shade over 100.
I guess you could say that about a lot of guys in the big leagues, and the Diamondbacks no different, trying to get that rhythm offensively. These are pretty good conditions here, though, don't you think?
I would think so, yeah. This is very, very favorable compared to where
roof's open, glass, the
yeah,
panels are opened up. This is beautiful.
Beautiful night. 90 degrees to us. It feels like 75. Gorgeous night in Arizona. Full count to Souza. Had a 30-homer year last year with the Rays. Diamondbacks won their first 9 series of the season. Back when the Nationals came in here and swept them, that's the first series they lost. Payoff pitch again.
That's a pretty good unit, Washington. Good pitching, they can hit. Bryce Harper's having a good start.
And now they get Mark Reynolds.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he hits.
Had 2 home runs last night.
Pretty good welcome to the Nationals ball club. 8th pitch of the at bat here coming up for Guerra. In the air to left field. And Hernan Perez has room. Out number 2.
Yeah, they say the ball's not traveling as well as it used to, and they have incorporated the humidor here. along with the Rockies.
Second baseman, number 4.
That fly ball right there, back maybe last year, it might have been a different story, right? Maybe to the wall.
I think that would have been at least, if not a souvenir. But yeah, now it's a heavier baseball, a little harder to drive, right?
Do you think they let Paul Goldschmidt weigh in on that decision for the humidor?
I'm going to guess they did not consult.
Unfortunate.
Ketel Marte, a little hopper to Aguilar. Another nice inning for Junior Guerra, who has retired the first 6. 2-0 Brewers after 2.
Two to nothing as we head to the 3rd inning, and represent the crew all season long with a limited edition Brewers snapback hat, giving the first 20,000 fans at the Brewers matchup against the Mets on Friday, May 25th, courtesy of 94.5 KTI Country. Lock in your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Lorenzo Cain to Ketel Marte. Battled it a little bit. Stayed with it for the first out. Well, the Brewers with a 2-run second inning. Here's how good Corbin has been. In his first 8 starts, he allowed a total of 2 runs in the first 2 innings. But the Brewers touch him up. Pena double, a VR single, and a 2-run double from Orlando Arcia.
And normally when you have a guy that's been throwing the baseball as well as he has, I mean, what you try to do is get him before he settles in, but that really hasn't been the case with this guy. I mean, he's been sharp right out of the bullpen in the first inning.
It's the corner there for against Santana. 2 strikes and nothing. Santana had a good day yesterday. 3 hits, including a double. The extra base hits few and far between for Santana, but he's starting to make some good contact here of late.
I was talking to Darnell, before the game about Santana. He says he's in a good place right now. He's swinging the bat well, feels like he can get the pitches on the inside corner, which means he's been able to wait back on that pitch away. Home runs will come, he says.
He's 4 for 9 in that series against the Rockies. 30 home run season a year ago, 29 doubles. And the slider leads to strikeout number 5 for Patrick Corbin.
First baseman.
2 away, bases empty for Jesus Aguilar back in the starting lineup. And flexing those muscles. Another extended at bat ends this way as he sends one out of here. A 3-run homer, Powerball home run count number 3 on the year for Aguilar.
Yeah, that was what, an 8-9 pitch at bat, hanging curveball, and that was a big home run. Brewers had a 4-0 lead at the time.
Chance for Nick Ahmed. Corbin has a 1-2-3 third inning. Bottom of the third, Brewers with the early lead.
Where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Bottom of the third, Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona. Brewers with a 2-0 lead over the Diamondbacks. Battle of first place teams in their respective divisions. I know it's only mid-May, but it's still kind of fun to say that.
Yeah.
Nick Ahmed showing a little pop at the plate. 6 home runs this season. Junior Guerra has retired the first 6 Arizona hitters. Sophia was reporting earlier tonight trying to find that, recapture that formula. Guerra's first 4 outings were good. And so far so good tonight as he catches Ahmed looking for out number 1.
And he's got good command inside outside. He got Pollock on a fastball away, getting Ahmed on the inside corner. Manny's setting up and actually had plenty of the plate. Ahmed maybe looking for that splitter. I will say this, we were talking about that last start. He was pretty good the last time out, although he did use a lot of pitches. It was just that 4-batter stretch in the 4th inning. That was it. But sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, Brent Suter has had a couple outings like that too, where maybe the 2nd inning he gives it up and then he settles back in, right? Yeah. So, yeah, sometimes the raw numbers, you have to peel back a layer or two. And again, he's one of those guys that, he's not an innings eater by any stretch. He's had 1 outing where he went 6, but he's been that 5-inning starter, and in today's baseball, that's good enough, especially with his Brewers bullpen.
And unfortunately, that day he was facing Carrasco, who threw a complete game, 1 run. So Brewers didn't do much offensively.
Well, they got through the Cy Young winner, Corey Kluber, the previous night, but it was Carrasco, who's very good himself, bottling up the Milwaukee hitters. The ball, 2 strikes to John Ryan Murphy.
I'm just trying to see how far Tishner, the home plate umpire, is going to go off that corner. He's telling Manny, nope, not that far.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Second year with the Diamondbacks for Murphy. Just turned 27 years old. Was with the Twins prior to coming over here, and also a former Yankee. Team Patrick Corbin grew up a big fan of the New York Yankees. He's on deck. And he will come to the plate with a runner on. First base runner of the night for Arizona.
This guy's not an easy out at home plate. He can swing it.
He already has 5 hits this season.
So you better make your pitches. He's got a couple of runs batted in. .333 batting average. It's another bat in that lineup.
We have seen some pitchers who can swing the bat, and several of them wear Brewers uniforms. He's going to bunt right here, and Guerra's going to have a chance to get the lead runner. There's one, and that's all they'll get. Vihar doing the splits.
Look out. The old John Mayberry act down there at first base.
He's flexible.
Yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, it's one thing to get down on a stretch like that. Another thing to get up from it. Look at that. Nice, Johnny. Well done.
You're thinking we would be down for the count?
We'd still be trying to get up. We'd ask for help.
I'd be crying. Wow.
You don't see the guys do the splits anymore at first.
No, you don't.
It used to be fairly commonplace. Cecil used to do it. Cooper.
Yeah. We'll turn back the clock moment.
Boog Powell. Yeah.
Big man.
We're going back a ways
Big Boog Powell. Talking 60s, early 70s with the Orioles. I don't know. Maybe Aguilar can. Or not.
Yeah.
Two balls, no strikes to Peralta, who comes into this game on a 7-game hitting streak. For a team that is having trouble hitting the ball, they are last in the National League in team batting average. Peralta's been right around 300 and on-base percentage in the 380s. There's a bouncer to VR, and that will do it for the Diamondbacks here in the third. A walk, and that's it. Junior Guerra off to a good start tonight.
System in our UW Whitewater scouting report. In AA for the Biloxi Shuckers yesterday, Corey Ray versus Pensacola, a 3-hit day, a home run, 2 RBIs, scored 2 runs as well. In his last 6 games, he has 8 hits for a .333 average. The Brewers' number 6 prospect, according to MLBpipeline.com. And as if we're not tired of talking about Freddie Peralta, we spoke with him before today's game, and he's still on cloud 9 after his Major League debut yesterday. 5 2/3 of shutout ball, 13 strikeouts, a franchise record for a rookie in his debut. And it was interesting breaking down his start. 98 pitches for him, 90 of those were fastballs, 7 curveballs for him. He said the only changeup that he threw was the base hit that broke up the no-hitter in the 6th to David Dahl. But Craig Counsell said certainly what you learn about Peralta from that outing. He obviously performed great. He has a very special pitch in that fastball, and so he has a good foundation with that pitch to build off of. He'll get his second start on Saturday in the weekend series against the Twins.
That should be a thanks. Little movement on that fastball too, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I was talking to a lot of people back in Milwaukee today, and they were saying, you know, it sounded like this guy's throwing hard. You know, 97, 98, all those fastballs. Not the case. I mean, what did he top out about 93, 4
Right
maybe?
there. Yep.
It's all about the delivery and, you know, how well he hides the baseball. Kind of jumps out on hitters. And what a performance that was. Good for him.
It was. It was so much fun to watch the joy on his face and the joy on the faces of his teammates.
And his parents.
Yeah, that was fun. First time that they had a chance to see him pitch professionally. And they thought it was going to be for the Sky Sox. What a weekend.
Yeah. Just great stuff.
And yes, he gets another turn.
Yep, going to pitch Saturday against the Twins. Chase Anderson on the disabled list. Illness. Turned out to be food poisoning.
He will be back. As Travis Shaw will take a walk here to start inning number 4. Brewers getting a couple of runs off Corbin in the second inning. Corbin with 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. Perez, the left fielder for the Brew Crew tonight. Slider has him swinging and missing for strike 1. He's getting his first pitch strikes. 11 of them through the first 16 hitters. He gets first pitch strikes about 2/3 of the time.
And not just with fastballs either. Talking breaking pitches. It's interesting, all the sliders that he throws, and that right on the heels of a Tommy John surgery, right? And a lot of people feel like that slider is really tough on that elbow. Takes you a while to get it back. Of course, it did for him. A couple of years.
Yeah, last year they felt like, okay, he is fully back after having that surgery back in 2014. There's a look at that curveball. It was about the midway point of 15 before Corbin returned. He's good enough now as his name gets thrown around and has been for a while, because it's what we do, right? We speculate about, will they move him? Where would he go? He's a Diamondback right now, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, with the way this team is, he's not going anywhere. They feel like they have a chance to make a nice run.
They got through the Rockies in the wild card game as you look at Manny Pena on deck. And a bouncer, and Nick Ahmed with the stop, and everybody's safe as Shaw gets there ahead of the throw. And the first 2 are on now for Milwaukee in the 4th.
Yeah, Ahmed did a good job just getting there, just not able to get enough on the throw because his momentum going away from the bag. That'll be a base hit for Perez. Kind of rolls over on one on a pitch. Ahmed, you can see just going too hard toward the line, not able to get much on that throw. Couldn't get a grip on it either.
So a walk to Shaw, infield single for Hernan Perez. And the Brewers have a little something going here in the top of the 4th. Manny Pena doubled in that second inning. John Ryan Murphy again needing to get down and block a curveball.
Yeah, they like him. They feel like he's the catcher of the future here in Arizona. They've got 3 on their roster. You got Avila, you got Mathis, the veteran. At some point, he's going to get most of the playing time, if not already.
Good experienced guy for him to turn to, and Jeff Mathis, 35 years old. A ball, no strikes to Pena. And a curve is hit in the air to left. And Peralta puts it away for out number 1. Hey Brewers fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. One out here in the 4th for Jonathan Villar. Brewers did their damage in the second inning after 2 men were out. Back-to-back strikeouts before Pena got it started. First 2 reach in the 4th before the fly ball from Pena. Finish the thought of the Diamondbacks why you would think that Corbin would be going nowhere. This was, as we mentioned, a postseason team. They beat the Rockies in the wild card and then were swept in the divisional round by the Dodgers. They have every reason to believe they could be right back in that postseason chase.
You betcha. Especially with that pitching staff they have. Good starting rotation, bullpen, lights out. They don't give away outs. You know, they play solid defense, and you have to beat the Diamondbacks. They're not going to beat themselves most of the time.
This gives you a chance, and while this Brewers defense still statistically in some categories ranks near the bottom, in some categories they have tightened things up, and it's given them a chance. They've won a lot of lower scoring games this season. The ball, 2 strikes now to Villar. Garcia on deck. Drove in the game's first 2 runs. Here's the 1-2. And that'll cost him. He offered, and that's out number 2 on strikeout number 6. 2 away, and Orlando Arcia to the plate as he takes on the Diamondbacks tonight. Presented by AARP. In his last 8 games against Arizona has some pretty sweet looking numbers, including tonight's a 2-run double. Getting a cool 500 his last 8 games against the D-backs. 2 outs, 2 on. Shaw at second. Perez at first.
I guess it's not so much all the time who, it's when. You know, the Brewers faced the Diamondbacks in June here last year, and that's about the time that he started really swinging the bat well against a lot of teams, right?
Exactly, yeah. Ended up hitting 277, and he got rolling to get those numbers up. Good at taking the ball to the opposite field, and then he was able to pull the ball as well as the season went on.
Almost like he flipped the switch around the All-Star break. Said, you know what, I'm going to start pulling the ball, and he did, big time. Hitting home runs, driving the gaps.
Well, keeping that weight balanced, you could say that about any number of hitters. He's a fan of Hanley Ramirez, and you just watch him and you can see the leg kick, but balance.
Well, 3 different approaches within one at bat sometimes, Orlando. Just trying to find something that feels comfortable for him.
A ball, a strike.
Sometimes he lays that front leg out there pretty dramatically. Other times he'll lift the front leg up. Other times he did what he did right there. Not a whole lot of anything, just kind of picking it up, setting it down.
Two balls, one strike to the Brewers shortstop. Pulls that slider foul.
And this is the approach that he's using right now in this at bat. Just kind of a soft approach, picking the front leg up, moving it about 6 inches, maybe not even that far, and just trying to stay on balance, stay back a little bit.
Corbin with the 2-2. And a wave and a miss there for the inning-ending strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts. The Brewers get the first 2 on. They cannot push them across. It remains a 2-0 game. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. Just a gorgeous night in Phoenix. We've had their first wave of triple digits. We're not there here today. 2-0 Brew Crew as we move to the bottom of the 4th. 91 degrees at first pitch, but cooling off nicely on this Monday night. And a good start to the night for Junior Guerra as Brewer fans and others enjoy. And if it gets too warm, you take a dip in the pool. Not bad. Daniel Descalso leads off. Descalso, Goldschmidt, and A.J. Pollock. Veteran player, second year of his 2-year contract with the Diamondbacks. Former Rocky, former Cardinal.
It's always been a tough out. Man, not one of those guys that you really, think about, going through the game and thinking about who you don't want to have beat you. Descalso is not one of those guys, but he comes up with big hits. And a good eye at the plate.
And nothing to hit so far as you see the alignment. Arcia out there in the grass in right field. And a 4-pitch walk to Descalso. That's the second walk allowed by Junior here tonight.
First baseman,
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. He was third in the MVP balloting last year behind Giancarlo Stanton and Joey Votto. Runner-up twice, once to Andrew McCutchen, and on the other occasion to Bryce Harper. Almost always in the mix.
Yeah, good player. He's a good leader on his team. And having a difficult time with that pitch right there, they say, throughout the beginning of the season this year. That fastball away. But you got to get it down.
She was on the wrong end of those first pitch strikes.
Yeah, most of those first pitch strikes to Goldschmidt are called strikes. He's always been a guy that, at least early in the game, is going to make you work. He'll take a pitch. Maybe later in the game, he'll ambush one. You know, first pitch, men on base.
Hit a fly ball to Lorenzo Cain in the first inning. Guerra with the 1-1. Goldschmidt led the league. It was he broke a string that Joey Votto had going. He led the league in walks with Goldschmidt a couple of years ago. He's had a couple of years where he has had triple-digit walks. 36 homer, 120 RBI year in 2017. And Guerra gets the bottom of the zone for strike two.
Doesn't often argue, does he, Goldschmidt? I mean, you never really know what he's thinking. It doesn't really wear his emotions on his sleeve, and very even keeled, even through these struggles.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And there's a base hit. Into right field, Descalso will stop at second. And the first 2 are on for the Diamondbacks. That's the first hit of the night for Arizona.
Yeah, not a bad pitch either. Might have had a little bit of the play, but it was down. And he ripped it right by Aguilar at first. I mean, not much you can do about that. I mean, that's not a bad pitch. It had a little bit of the plate, but down, and Goldschmidt shortening up and hits a line drive into right field. Not trying to pull it too much. Everything up the middle, opposite field for him.
So a threat going for the Diamondbacks. Now their cleanup hitter, A.J. Pollock. Player of the month in the National League in April. Descalso walked. Goldschmidt, the first hit of the game for Arizona. This month starting out okay as well for Pollock. He has a couple of homers. He's driven in 9 here in May. For a team that has had trouble hitting, Pollock a notable exception.
Yeah, 11 dingers, 33 RBIs. Yeah, good start.
It's a fastball up.
Well, a lot of fastballs from Junior Guerra tonight. He really hasn't had good command of the split. Hasn't been able to get it over the plate. Hasn't been able to get any swings on it.
First sign of trouble tonight for Guerra. In the air, right center field. Back goes Santana. Right at the wall for the first out. Tagging is Descalso. He'll get to third as Goldschmidt retreats to first, 1 away.
Yep, the humidor got him again.
Thank you very much.
I mean, honestly, I mean, you know, maybe last year, and I mean, it's one of those things you kind of laugh about, but according to these folks around this ballpark, it has made a difference. I mean, Pollock hits that ball last year. That might be in the pool. Up against the fence. The humidor adds moisture to the baseball and doesn't really fly as far as it would, in the hot weather, low humidity, and they say it has made a difference.
Here's Steven Souza. A fly ball to left in the second inning.
And another fastball. 44 of 49 pitches now for Junior Guerra have been fastballs. Yeah, he just really doesn't have good command of the other stuff tonight.
More of the humidor effect there, Rock, as you look at those numbers.
And it's something to do with the Diamondbacks pitching.
No, it's all about the humidor. And that gets by Travis Shaw. This will get a run on the board. Descalso is in. Here comes Goldschmidt, and he'll apply the brakes at third. One scoring double for Steven Souza.
Well, breaking ball that time by Junior, 86 miles an hour, and left it down the middle of the plate. And he's trying to find something, cutter, slider. He's just trying to find something other than the fastball to show to these Arizona hitters, because he really hadn't been able to use the split a whole lot.
So a 2-1 ball game, and the Diamondbacks threatening for more as Ketel Marte steps to the plate. Marte came over last year in a trade with the Mariners that involved the former Brewer, Gene Segura. Sent him to Seattle. Junior giving him nothing to hit. Marte not one who takes walks.
And first two not close.
Junior trying to settle him. First couple of hits of the night, as well as the first run for Arizona in the fourth. Marte hitting .226, a homer. He's driven in 9. And again, you get the corner. You get a little bit extra space here tonight from Todd Tischner. .24 years old, Ketel Marte. Oh, Junior wants to avoid is what happened in that last outing. He pitched pretty well, and then it turned quickly against the Indians.
Yeah, fourth inning. Fourth inning then, fourth inning tonight.
A 2-2 count to Marte with Nick Ahmed on deck. And that gets by Pena, but not enough for Goldschmidt to advance. Well, what hustle from Pena, and he's feeling it in the process.
It's been a rough road trip for Manny as far as that goes. Getting dinged, foul tip, blocking pitches. There's that split-fingered grip down in the dirt, trying the best he can to square himself up, but I tell you, he's one of the quickest getting from down on his knees to up and grabbing a baseball. Blocking the ball is half the battle. You have to get up and get the baseball.
Goldschmidt holding at third. Souza the runner at second. Full count to Marte, who took all of 18 walks a couple of years ago and some 466 plate appearances. Another fastball from Junior. Diamondbacks average 4.1 runs per game. And a lot less than that lately. Three-two pitch. And he just took a walk and they're loaded. Well, the second mound visit of the inning is popping out of the dugout after Pena popped out from behind the plate a moment ago. Now pitching coach Derek Johnson makes his way.
Yeah, just trying to figure out a way to minimize the damage here. Going back to his last start, 4 in the 4th. Has an opportunity to get out of this inning with a double play ball, but it's just been fastball basically for Junior tonight.
A walk to start the inning from Descalso, a single from Goldschmidt. RBI double from Steven Souza. Now a walk to Ketel Marte. Efficient through the first three. I mentioned the double play ground ball. No one has hit into more of them on this Diamondbacks team than Nick Ahmed. He's bounced into 4 of them. And this is headed out to center field. Kane. 2 men out, tagging is Goldschmidt. He'll score, and this game is tied. Sacrifice fly from Nick Ahmed. Souza moves to third.
First pitch fastball out over the plate, and Ahmed didn't waste any time. Hit it hard into the gap, but we've seen Lorenzo Cain close on balls like that, making them look easy.
Away with runners at the corners for the catcher John Ryan Murphy. That was the first base runner of the night for the Diamondbacks. A 1-out walk in the 3rd. High and tight. Count evens, a ball, a strike. And yeah, the voice jumped because it sailed off right into our booth, right edge. Nicely done.
Yeah, that had some, that was coming in hot.
It was coming in hot, yes. Yeah. Had a little hiss to it.
You all right, Beth? She's all right.
Oh, yeah. Beth is tough. All day tough. The rest of us, well, to right field, Santana. And that'll do it for the Diamondbacks in the 4th. They pick up a couple of runs. Everybody's okay up here, and Junior Guerra settles down and gets through the 4th inning. John Ryan Murphy with a souvenir for us up here. There you are. Nice effort, Brock. Way to get after it.
In baseball, we go out to Wrigley Field, a series between the Braves and the Cubs, and you look at the leadoff home run by Ozzie Albies off of Jose Quintana. The Braves would go on to win that game 6-5, and Albies has just been on a tear. That's his 13th home run of the season.
Yeah, that guy, we're hearing about him, but almost every day. Not to mention hearing about the Atlanta Braves almost every day. The start that they're off to, leading the National League East. We are tied at 2 as we move to the 5th inning here at Chase Field. Brewer fans, as always, on the road, taking it in.
All the play that the Atlanta Braves have gotten. I mean, their offense has been tremendous. They got 24 wins. So do the Brewers. So do the Diamondbacks.
How about that? Yeah, we talk about, Diamondbacks aren't hitting very well. Well, they lead their division. The Brewers, we go through stretches where we're saying about this team, it's not hitting very well, and here they are. Junior Guerra leading off, followed by Lorenzo Cain and Domingo Santana.
I tell you, National League Central has been tough so far. 4 teams over 500.
And the team that sits at the bottom has won 6 in a row.
Right.
They just swept the
Reds,
Dodgers.
yeah.
Which they have not swept them in a 4-game series out there. They said since one of their championship teams back in 1976.
Wow.
Guerra sends one into right field. Souza is there for out number 1. Good contact from Guerra.
Center field, Lorenzo Cain.
Back to the top of the order in Lorenzo Cain. Had a full day off yesterday. Something we have not said often. Cincinnati, he was not in the lineup for one of the games, but came in later as a pinch hitter.
And much deserved. He had a lot of ground to cover out in Colorado.
And he covered it well. That is the most spacious outfield in baseball. Cain comes from the second most spacious outfield.
Yep, Cain has now played in 39 of the Brewers' 42 games.
Corbin lands the slider for strike 2. Corbin trying to settle back in. The Brewers had something going in the 4th. The first 2 reached. Shaw walked, Perez an infield single, and then Corbin set down Pena, Villar, and Arcia. The 1-2 pitch. Lorenzo holds up.
Tough pitch to identify out of his hand. See a lot of check swings on that pitch.
Two pitch. From 0-2 to 3-2. Santana waits on deck. Descalso. Out number 2.
Hey, Goodwill is once again offering half-price tickets in section 238 at left field Lowe's bleachers for most Brewers home games this year. To secure Club Goodwill tickets, visit left field ticket window number 40 as soon as the ballpark gates open. Learn more at brewers.com. Club Goodwill.
Nice. Here's Santana.
Always a deal to be had at Miller Park.
Boy, there is.
You know,
been some good ones, real good ones here in the last few days. We'll take advantage of that if you haven't already.
Yeah, nobody can say that the Brewers don't make it affordable for fans that want to come out to the ballpark.
That is a fact. Get those tailgates going, you get the grills all fired up. Pretty good way to spend a spring evening, summer evening.
And see some pretty good baseball. Guys are playing well.
curve that's bounced to Ahmed. And a good pick by Goldschmidt. 1, 2, 3 go the Brewers in the 5th. We stay tied at 2.
Brewers and the D-backs the start of a 3-game set, and today the Brewers Community Foundation kicks off their ultimate auction, which runs through Monday, May 28th. You can make a difference by bidding on a one-of-a-kind experience, including meet and greets with players, with the proceeds benefiting disadvantaged children and their families. So you can check all of those out at brewers.com/BCF.
All right, thank you much, Sophia. 9, 1, and 2 in the order for Arizona. Patrick Corbin, a career 171 hitter, 16 RBIs. I mentioned already 5 hits this season. So Guerra, well aware. Diamondbacks with a couple of runs in the 4th to tie the game.
Yeah, that 4th inning for Junior, last couple of starts, right? It's the second time through a batting order. You know, team, particularly the Indians, really never seen him before, and that second time, who's going to make the adjustments? Same thing tonight.
2 strikes and nothing to Patrick Corbin. Back up the middle. Arcia. 1 out. Well, we saw a familiar face in the clubhouse earlier today, Eric Thames. Let's get an update on how that thumb injury is healing up as we check in with Sophia.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it was nice to see Eric Thames rejoin the Brewers today. He's been on the disabled list since April 25th with that UCL tear in his left thumb. He's actually been here doing some rehab on that thumb and getting some therapy treatment done since his surgery. But Eric Thames said that he'll likely see the doctor early next week before he'll be cleared to do any sort of baseball activities and rejoin the team for good. But it was good to see him back at the ballpark. Teammates excited to see him as well. So the thumb healing, and once he gets cleared for baseball activities, then his rehab will really start in earnest.
Yeah, they have depth at first base, but that's a lot of power that's missing right now. Peralta, somebody else with a lot of power, Jesus Aguilar, out number 2.
They don't know how long it's going to take, Thames to get back to full strength, to get back on the active roster. But in the meantime, I think Aguilar has filled in admirably. I mean, he's done a nice job around first base, come up with some big hits. Won a game on a walk-off homer. So, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good bat to fill in for Thames while he's out.
And we saw Aguilar start a game at third base over the weekend and held up well at 3 chances. Well, it was a fairly tough chance, and he made it look easy. 2 outs, bases empty for Daniel Descalso. That walk started the 4th inning, the 2-run inning for Arizona. 2 balls, no strikes. Guerra has issued 3 walks so far tonight. Descalso getting a lot of time right now. Jake Lamb, their third baseman, still working his way back. Shoulder injury. Could be back later this month. He's just starting his rehab assignment.
That's a big bat to be without. That Goldschmidt-Lamb 1-2 punch, pretty good last year.
Sure was. 30 home runs, good. He was an all-star. Descalso taking a walk. That's 4 of them now, allowed by Junior Guerra. That is a season high for Guerra.
Never a good idea to walk a guy in front of Goldschmidt. I don't care what his batting average is.
A good contact tonight so far. A fly ball to center before that 4th inning single. Into right field. Santana going back. Just enough room. The humidor is a beautiful thing, Rock.
Yeah.
We're all about the humidor.
Arizona all tied at 2, and tonight's time of the game winner, Frenchie's Tavern in Fond du Lac. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite beer pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Jesus Aguilar leading off here in the 6th. Quiet night so far for the first baseman. He got loud in the 6th inning yesterday in Denver. A 3-run homer, and the Rockies started to creep back in that ball game. Brewers won 7-3, but that homer was big from Aguilar. Gave the Brewers breathing room.
Another long at bat yesterday ended up in a home run for Aguilar. Hanging curveball and knocked it out.
He needs a hanging slider here from Patrick Corbin. A spinner. A complete game that Corbin had against the Giants on April 17th. He had a no-hitter going through 7 2/3. Brandon Belt broke it up, squibbed one away from the shift. That was the 4th complete game of his career, that All-Star year for Corbin in 2013. He had 3 complete game outings and going 14-8 for Arizona. Here's a 2-2. Another strikeout.
Yep, every strikeout, all 8 coming on the slider. All swings and misses. And not too many of them actually in the strike zone. Let's check this one out. That's pretty close. Yeah, down and in. Got the break on it, and Aguilar over the top of it.
Faces Travis Shaw. And yet another one. 33 sliders that Corbin has thrown. He's gotten swings and misses on 14 of them. And that's the 3rd called strike he's gotten off the slider. That's how good it is. We're throwing a lot of numbers at you here, but we mentioned before the game, that is a nasty pitch, and we're just helping you out, showing you why.
You know, most starters are going to work off the fastball. He doesn't do that. I mean, he throws more breaking pitches, sliders, than he does fastballs, certainly for strikes.
Shaw to left field. Peralta will have room. 2 away.
And again, you're not talking about a guy that, you know, throws 98 miles an hour. We're talking 92. His second leg in strikeouts. Does it with the slider.
Interesting how it works. Velocity may be down, but strikeouts are up more than 3 per game, and strikeouts per 9 innings from a year ago. Here's Hernan Perez. Little tapper. Corbin has another 1-2-3 inning. What time he has done that here tonight. We stay tied at 2 in the 6th.
I have not.
Never.
No, I don't think guys were that athletic back in those days, and I don't think anybody ever tried to jump over me. But there's a lot of guys that tried to go through me for sure.
Back in the days when you could have those home plate collisions.
You were allowed to have collisions at home plate back in those days. Been crazy. We've seen a bunch of those, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Over the years, last few years.
Mm-hmm. Different means now to get to the plate.
I mean, what, about 5-6 years ago, they probably would have tried to go right through the catcher. Can't do that anymore.
Yep.
Got to go vertical.
Little dive over him. 2 balls, no strikes to A.J. Pollock, leading off the 6th inning in a tie game in Arizona. It's a chance for Travis Shaw. Out number 1.
Junior's been able to retire the leadoff hitter in every inning except the 4th. And leadoff walk ended up costing him a couple of runs. And doing it, again, largely with just fastballs tonight.
So interesting to watch pitchers. Some guys are predictable. You know what their bread and butter is going to be. Hitting it is another thing. With Corbin, we know the slider is a big pitch for him, and it certainly has been tonight. With Guerra, he's changed things up. He has the fastball, but you think splitter when you think of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, there have been times when he hasn't had a good splitter and he's gone more curveball. He'll throw slider. But it's been basically just fastball tonight. Amazing. Maybe watching Freddie Peralta yesterday, right?
That's right.
That's all he threw, basically.
Yeah. You see the pitch count at 77. 64 have been fastballs from Guerra tonight. And yet another one. So better than 8 of 10 pitches from Guerra have been heaters. 2 strikes and nothing to Steven Souza. One scoring double from Souza in that 4th inning, and a shot to left field. Perez is there. 2 outs.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The mayor of Ding Dong City has mandated that all fans who attend the Cruz contest against the Mets on Sunday, May 27th, will get a one-of-a-kind Travis Shaw bobblehead. Mayor of Ding Dong City. That's courtesy of U.S. Cellular. For tickets, go to Brewers.com. He's mandated that you get a Ding Dong City, Mayor of Ding Dong City bobblehead.
I need it used to be called a loop tape. I just need that continuous sound of you saying the Mayor of Ding Dong City.
Yeah, put that maybe on your alarm.
Yeah.
Time to get up, Matty. But we were walking through the clubhouse today, and actually Travis was at his locker. He wished us luck. Have a good broadcast.
Yeah, it was very heartfelt.
I said, thank you, Mayor. He kind of laughed.
It's good to get a pep talk, though, from one of the players.
Yeah, it was nice of him, wasn't it?
There's Ketel Marte with a base hit.
Guys are very thoughtful down in that Brewers clubhouse.
They really are. Passing along all their best wishes to us.
Maybe asking us to step it up a little bit, maybe. That's
Could be.
maybe what he
Yeah.
meant. Maybe the more I think about it.
Show me some love, man. Come on.
It's great hanging out with these guys. Done a lot of it, a lot of road games.
Boy, yeah, the second 3-city trip here of the season, sandwiched in between a 5-game homestand. That was it. So that means we're going to see a lot of the Brewers coming up.
Yeah. Well, and the next trip is a 3-city trip.
In June, you're right. Nice long homestand, though, after this trip ends. 3 here, 3 against the Twins. But yeah, in early June, White Sox, Indians, and Phillies. Nick Ahmed, a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. Marte, the runner at first with 2 men out. Mentioned Ahmed showing a little more pop in his bat. He has 6 home runs so far this season. His career high is 9. That was 3 years ago. But in baseball, it's more and more about launch angle. And Ahmed, one of those guys has taken notes. Average low, but he has pop, and he's driven in 19 runs.
Yeah, that launch angle is a good thing and a bad thing. Launch angle, you know, the little uppercut swing makes you vulnerable to high fastballs. But you leave a pitch down in the strike zone, and these guys are sending them pretty far these days. You know, hanging, breaking pitches. That's why that high fastball has been so effective last couple of years.
You see it with the Brewers. They've emphasized it, and it's emphasized all across baseball now. Balls, no strikes to Ahmed. Here's that high fastball.
Yep. Kind of a check swing on a 2-0 count.
A.J. Pollock, a ground ball to third. Souza lined to left before Ketel Marte singled. Here's the 2-1. Ahmed will be followed by John Ryan Murphy. Hitters count. The shortstop, Nick Ahmed. And goes to Hackett. Trying to keep a struggling team down. The Diamondbacks have lost 5 in a row. And just swept a 4-game series by the Nationals. It's an outfit that won the first 9 series it played this year. 3-2 pitch. Got him. And that will do it for the Diamondbacks in the 6th. Good night's work going on for Junior Guerra. This game stays tied. We move to the 7th inning, and Patrick Corbin talked about it throughout the night. The slider. nasty.
Yeah, he had thrown it for strikes early in the count, and all of his 8 strikeouts have come on sliders, most of them off the plate, not missing by much, going from strike to ball very quickly. And the Brewers really haven't been able to figure that pitch out. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's pretty much standard for Corbin this year.
He'll face Manny Pena, who doubled off of him in the second inning. Looks at a curve for ball 1. Mentioned Pena's big home run on Friday night. He had a 2-hit game yesterday, also walked. Well, he's been getting beat up behind the plate. He's been getting much better production at the plate. And here is his night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. A second inning double and a fly ball to left in the 4th.
Yeah, the double came with a fastball right there. Fastball in, turned it around down the line.
Pena, Villar, and Arcia due up here in the 7th inning. Full count to Pena. Well struck center field, and that'll drop. Lead-off single for Manny Pena, his second hit of the night.
Yeah, just kind of stuck the bat out there in the full count, just kind of dumped it into center. Yeah, shortening up that swing with 2 strikes. And Manny able to get a lead-off single. Well, fastball up and away, and Manny able to get the 7th started well for Milwaukee. Let's see if they can get that bottom of the order going again.
Villar has singled in 2 trips. Hit number 5 for Milwaukee tonight. Single by Villar in the second inning. It's noteworthy no matter who the lefty is. Jonathan coming in hitting just 143 from the right side. That was just his 4th hit from the right side of the plate this year.
Yeah, which is why he wasn't in the starting lineup against Corbin. Had to be put in because Ryan Braun was scratched after batting practice. Lower back stiffness.
Well, that meant that Hernan Perez, who was going to be the second baseman, moved out to left, and Villar handling things at second. And another hit for Villar. Pena will take the turn on his way to third, and the Brewers have him at the corners to begin the 7th.
Yeah, both hits have come on fastballs away. That's a nice swing by Jonathan Villar, getting on top of it and ripping it down the line and right. There it is, pretty much the same spot, same speed. The pitch that Pena hit for a base hit. That's just a nice approach, and Manny able to get to third base.
Torey Lovullo, the National League Manager of the Year, as voted by the baseball writers, comes on. Pitching change in Arizona. Brewers trying to break this tie in the 7th.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lights. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Patrick Corbin's night is done. 6 innings allowed, 2 runs so far. Pena and VR at third and first respectively belong to Corbin. Gives way now to Yoshihisa Hirano.
Yeah, kind of a high 3/4 delivery, low 90s fastball splitter. A lot of times, you chase the starter in a series, and that's what you're looking to do, but it's no picnic facing this Arizona bullpen. Overall, they lead the National League in earned run average, and their bullpen, leads the NL.
Yeah, this series features the top 2 bullpens in the National League. Yoshihisa Hirano, a college star in his homeland Japan, pitched professionally there for more than a decade. He faces Orlando Arcia. First pitch swinging, just missing a foul ball.
I'll start him out with a split.
Arcia has driven in both of the Brewers' runs. Back in the second inning off Corbin. Pena single to center, Villar single to right. One strike pitch. Christian Yelich moves into the on-deck circle.
Only left-hander available to Craig Counsell tonight.
Josh Hader up in the Milwaukee bullpen. Good night's work for Junior Guerra. Dorado signed a 2-year contract in the offseason. He's 34 years old. Pitching professionally in Japan. They had an award given out each year to the most valuable middle reliever. But he also saved over 150 games in his decade plus in Japan as a pro. Part of this outstanding bullpen. The 1-2, VR running. Arcia, Descalso, play at the plate, and out at home is Pena. First out of the inning.
Well, normally first and third, nobody out or 1 out. You take off immediately from third base on a ground ball, but this one here, a little dribbler. I don't think it was a double play ball. Especially with VR running on the pitch. And an easy out at home plate.
Guerra, number 22, Christian Yelich.
So runners at first and second with 1 out. Christian Yelich announced as the pinch hitter, and that gets Lovello out of the dugout again.
Yeah, Diamondbacks have 3 lefties in the pen, 5 right-handers, plenty to go to.
Another pitching change at Chase Field. Here's 1 out, 2 men on. At second, Orlando Arcia at first. Andrew Chafin, lefty, coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, good numbers for him. He has had bouts of wildness this year. 13 in the third innings, 9 walks, 16 punch outs. So be patient. He might throw some pitches out of the zone. 20th appearance for Chafin. 2.03 earned run average.
In his last 5 appearances in particular, he can often be that lefty one-out guy. Those bouts of wildness have piled up a bit here of late. Brewers with a threat. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Christian Yelich, who is pinch hitting for Junior Guerra. Chafin is on. He gets a lot of ground balls, but not this time as Yelich goes the other way. Here comes VR. Here's the throw from Peralta. Brewers take the lead. Yelich off the bench with a pinch single.
And not West messing around. First pitch, dumps it into left. I'll tell you, that was a case where they should have cut that throw off. There's no way they get VR at home plate, and then Arcia would have been an easy out at third base if they cut it off. So first pitch fastball, dumps it into left. Now check out the throw from Peralta. If they cut it off, they get an out at third. They get nobody. So a break for the Brewers.
By a defense that is very, very good.
Yeah, mistake right there.
Yes, sir. And that keeps this inning going. Brewers with a run across. And Insurance 90 feet away. So another pitching change here in Arizona as the Brewers grab the lead. 1 out, runners at the corners. 3-2 Milwaukee. Out for Arizona, Christian Yelich greets Andrew Chafin with an opposite field run scoring single. And now Lovello goes back to his bullpen. Beg your pardon, as Jimmy Sherfy is on the mound.
Yeah, 4th different pitcher, 4th different hitter. So Torey Lovello wants this one pretty badly tonight. And he got Sherfy last night against the Nationals, a scoreless inning. Well, they got 8 relievers down there.
Might as well use them, huh?
Plenty left.
And here is Lorenzo Cain. And a hit taken away in the first inning. Potential double that Descalso gobbled up. Grounded to him again his last time up. Sherfy just up from AAA Reno.
Got a good arm, big fastball.
Couple of stints with the Diamondbacks last year. Also had a couple of appearances in the postseason. That series against the Dodgers, it did not go well for him then. A ball, a strike. Arcia the runner at third. Yelich at first. Blocked by John Ryan Murphy.
And basically fastball slider, guys. Sometimes it looks more like a curveball than a slider. Depends on how he releases it. You know, the kind of a grip.
10th round draft pick out of the University of Oregon was Jimmy Sherfy. Brewers break the tie. Looking for more here in the 7th inning. Yelich is running. Kane, a foul ball.
Just missed it. They hung a curveball there.
2-2. Mentioned the 2 stints last year. I gave you the bad news in the postseason, but he was good. He was called upon in the regular season, gave up nothing over 10 2/3 innings. He's 26 years old. Drafted 5 years ago. Brewers have out hit Arizona 7-3. Yelich running again, and he'll get second. Murphy not taking the bait. Arce over there at third.
They're just giving away bases tonight. Yeah, it cost him back in the 2nd inning when Goldschmidt didn't throw the ball to second. And no throw on the stolen base from Yelich.
Yeah, that was when Pena was at third. VR trying to draw a throw and had him hung up, but Goldschmidt elected to eat it, and then Arcia ended up with a 2-run double. Full count to Lorenzo Cain. And now the bases are loaded. Chance to pop this one open here in the 7th inning.
Right fielder.
So Velo's bullpen is scuffling. It's the best in the National League. We'll have a mound visit. Pitcher, the pitching coach, makes his way out to the Chase Field mound.
I guess going over the scouting report on Domingo Santana. How about the bottom of the Brewers order once again tonight, Matty? 6 through 9 in the batting order. 6 hits, 2 RBIs, and 3 runs scored.
Pretty good work again.
Yeah.
It's a factor in the series in Colorado. Talking about it for how long? Starting to turn that around, this Brewers offense. There's Domingo Santana. Good chance to add to that RBI total. The infield in. Halfway in the middle. Middle infielders halfway. Going for the downs. He was trying to hit career grand slam number 2. Here was the first one. Almost a full calendar year ago against Patrick Corbin.
Yep, off opposite field. Let's see if we can do it again.
Missed a bender. 1-2 the count. Santana with 6 extra base hits on the season. A single would be fine right here. Yoshihisa Hirano, Andrew Chafin preceding Jimmy Sherfy here in the 7th inning. The 2-2. And on the hands.
Yeah, slider breaking pitches away. At least he's trying to pitch away and then coming up and in with a fastball.
Domingo looking for his first hit of the night. The bat has been warming up here recently. 2-2 again. In the air, right field, and at the track, running it down is Sousa, but tagging is Arcia. He will score. And Yelich to third. It's a sacrifice fly for Santana, and the Brewers lead 4-2.
Yeah, good at bat for Domingo. Fouling off a couple of tough pitches and got one, almost hit it out of here to right field. Fastball outer half, and Domingo gives it a pretty good ride. And Brewers now with a 2-run lead. Hit that one well. Didn't really carry all that well. Our Badger Mutual run of the game. RBI sacrifice fly by Domingo Santana.
RBI number 9 for Domingo Santana. And here's Jesus Aguilar. Popped open yesterday's game with a 3-run homer. Pretty decent lead out there from Lorenzo Cain. Cain with 8 stolen bases. He's been caught twice. And he's running now. Pitch is taken. No throw. Leery of Yelich at third, so they give away another bag.
Yeah, just giving them away. 3 stolen bases now. Without even a throw attempt to throw him out.
1-0 the count to Jesus Aguilar. And a bender will even the count. Three homers, 14 RBIs for Aguilar. On base percentage on the edge of 400. It's at .396. Breaking ball giving him trouble. Runs all charged to Patrick Corbin. Allows 4 over 6 innings. And that is a season high. Yelich at third, Cain at second. 2-2. Into left field. Peralta. That'll do it. And the Brewers take the lead here in the 7th inning. Double barrel action in the Brewers bullpen. Taylor Williams, Josh Hader. The Brewers bullpen now looking to protect the 4-2 lead. Join Fox Sports Wisconsin as we inspire girls to be healthy and confident at the Girls on the Run of Southeastern Wisconsin Spring 5K, presented by Brewers Community Foundation on Saturday, June 2nd at Miller Park. To register, visit www.girlsontherunsoutheasternwi.org/5K. Christian Yelich, RBI single to break the tie. He stays in the game. He's the new left fielder for Milwaukee. And time for a little Monday night haterade. Josh Hader now in for the Crew.
Yeah, 6th save of the year back on Friday against the Rockies. Averaging nearly 19 strikeouts per 9 innings. Got 48 strikeouts in 23 innings. And you figure he's got at least the 7th and 8th if things go well.
John Ryan Murphy leading things off. One more change to update you on. Hernan Perez, who began the night in left field, now over in right. Hader missing with a fastball. 2 balls, no strikes. In addition to the walk, he has flied out to right field. This will carry out a play. So the Brewers doing a little damage against the Diamondbacks bullpen, unable to handle the inherited runners. Brewers pushing him across. Corbin left with 2 men on. They both scored. Corbin's night 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, all earned. Christian Yelich breaking the tie with an RBI single. And a liner into right. Murphy is on. A bobble from Perez, but the catcher will hold it first. Leadoff single for Murphy.
Yeah, pretty good swing. You don't see too many hits off of Josh Hader, at least not up to this point. You know, fastball. Yeah, put it right on the outside corner. That's a pretty good swing by Murphy to line it into right field.
So now the Diamondbacks trying to answer here as Chris Owings will pinch hit. Hit number 4 tonight for the Diamondbacks. Out toward shallow right field. Perez will put this away for out number 1.
Yeah, he just got out there in right field, and they're going right after him, aren't they? Out, you know, Hernan Perez.
The latest example of the ball finding you.
Didn't have a whole lot going on out and left.
Here's Peralta.
Actually caught 3 out and left.
Peralta establishing himself as a good hitter at the top of the order for this Diamondbacks club. Brewers have kept him quiet so far. The story pretty well documented by now. He originally signed as a pitcher with the Cardinals some 14 years ago. He's become a very good outfielder. Lobs one to the left. Yelich for the second out.
Yeah, able to get in on a couple of hands right there. You got Owings on the handle, now Peralta.
Two away with John Ryan Murphy, the runner at first for Daniel Descalso. So the strikeout machine that is Josh Hader getting a couple of fly balls here in the 7th. I'm sure he's okay with that.
Yeah, it's probably preferable if you think about it. I mean, it manages the pitch count a lot better.
Yes, sir.
Only 8 pitches so far. That includes a base hit.
Descalso has walked twice tonight. Here's the 1-1. Right at the bottom of the zone with the fastball.
This is where he normally goes slider. See if he throws it. See if he can get it off the plate.
Hader loads up for the 1-2 pitch. Just missed with the fastball.
Yeah, fastball on the edge. Well, you can't hit it. You just hope it's not called for a strike, and it wasn't.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Anywhere in the game, Hader can come in and get the job done. Counsell turns to him here in the 7th. And he strikes him out with the gas. After a leadoff single from John Ryan Murphy, a couple of fly balls, and then Hader ends the inning by doing what no one does better, getting a punch out. Just lobs one out of here. And there's a base hit to center field. Travis Shaw comes through with a 2-out RBI knock. It's another second deck shot for Travis Shaw, his second of the weekend. And when you know it, Travis Shaw is going to lead off the 8th inning here for the Brew Crew. 4-2 Milwaukee. Let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Those bombs have Shaw at the top of it now with 9. Eric Thames 2 back. Braun and Kane each with 5. The Powerball home run leaderboard. New pitcher Fernando Salas starts Shaw off with a strike.
Another fastball slider guy earned on average near 5. 19th game for Salas, giving up just a 1 home run this year. Salas last appeared in a game back on the 10th. That was against the Nationals. Gave up a run without retiring a hitter.
Signed a deal back in January with the Diamondbacks. Former Cardinal. With the Angels on a couple of occasions. Was with the Mets for a time last year. They released him in the middle of August. Angels signed him 4 days later. Shaw with a mile-high pop-up into foul territory. And an error by the fan in the front row.
That wasn't a bad effort, though.
It was solid.
Better than the effort we had up here on the ball. Well, I should say me.
I thought Beth was very courageous. She got it.
I don't think she saw it. She picked it up.
She picked it
Yeah,
up.
well, she didn't get hurt.
Yeah, there was no error up here. And no effort by the rest of us.
Yeah, right. Kind of half-hearted reach.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Shaw goes down swinging for out number 1. Well, it wasn't as close. It was pretty close, but in Miller Park last year, it was right around this time of year. In a series against the Red Sox, a foul ball came whistling up into our booth. I ducked.
We ducked it.
Yeah.
You don't need a bone bruise at this point. I mean, you're almost it's a vacation time.
That's right.
You don't need to be going on the DL.
Don't get hurt late.
No. You don't get any points for catching them.
I know.
A little abuse, but
I'm kind of over trying to look cool.
you get over that. You get over the abuse.
Yeah.
You might not get over the bone bruise.
Perez sends one in the direction of Nick Ahmed. 2 up, 2 down.
You know, the other thing is, we've had a number of relievers. 5 of them in this game. We have not seen any of them use the bullpen card,
which is a disappointment. The Diamondbacks relievers just don't use it. I mean, how do you turn down a ride like that?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Used to be commonplace back in the old days. What, 70s, 80s?
I give credit to the Nationals bullpen, Sean Doolittle, and the former Brewer, Brandon Kinsler, took advantage of it.
Yeah, Kinsler used it last night, but gave up 4 runs in an inning. I doubt he's going to use it again.
That's safe.
You know that players are kind of superstitious.
I've heard that, especially in this game.
Yeah.
Manny Pena, a couple of hits tonight. Part of that bottom of the order that's been so good again for Milwaukee. Five hits in that 6, 7, 8 portion of the lineup.
You see, Eddie didn't go after that. He could have if he wanted to, try and make a point. Ed Cedar, third base coach, just let it go by.
Got to pace yourself. It's a long season. He's had to duck out of some low line drives, so
yeah,
he knew that was safe.
He's had some near misses.
1-2. And he catches Pena looking. Salas with a couple of strikeouts. Brewers go down in order. Look at the bottom of the 8th. Brewers lead 4-2. All right, Daria, thank you. Council's team up a pair here as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Hader gets another inning of work. Gave up a leadoff single to John Ryan Murphy in the 7th, but got fly ball outs from Chris Owings and David Peralta and struck out Daniel Descalso.
Yep, only needed 12 pitches.
Paul Goldschmidt's made some pretty good contact here tonight. One hit to show for it. Pop up. Aguilar gives chase.
That's a pitch right there that when Goldschmidt is going well, he hits that pitch hard somewhere.
Average is at 212 for Goldschmidt. Slider missing from Hader. One of the strengths of a guy like Goldschmidt, he plays every day. The exception was 4 years ago, and he got hit by a pitch. It ended his season. Otherwise, he is pretty much an everyday player as he sends this one into shallow center, and out there to get it is Jonathan Vial.
And it got in on his hands. And that Hader fastball, pretty straight fastball, but the release point, hitters just don't pick it up. 95 on the inside corner.
Here's A.J. Pollock. Only Javier Baez has more RBIs in the National League than the 33 that Pollock has. Lift one down the line, but out of play.
And we saw Trevor Story over the weekend. He's right behind him.
Story became an RBI machine. Win 9 in that series. Brewers still won 3 out of 4. A 14-8 road record for Milwaukee. Ball a strike to Pollock. Steven Souza is on deck. Almost any statistic you look at with Josh Hader, it's eye-popping. Strikeouts obviously get your attention, but Council's gotten great work from this bullpen in general, and Hader specifically. Right-handers hitting .080 against him, which is a lot better than lefties. .043. I mean,
right.
Just crazy numbers.
Yeah, and he's getting more and more confident in the slider. Yeah, thrown in tough spots, able to eat up multiple innings in every single appearance. He's got all those guys in the bullpen doing that.
Seems to be a perfect role for him, which out of this bullpen is you come in the 6th or the 7th, 7th and 8th. He can close. And he seems perfectly happy with it. And another strikeout. That's the second tonight out of the bullpen for Josh Hader. 2 away.
Yeah, high fastball. Mid to upper 90s for Josh Hader. This one coming in down the middle, up 95 miles an hour. Right through it.
There you go. We saw the 2 top ones over the weekend with Adam Ottavino of the Rockies and Aroldis Chapman.
I mean, Hader's doing stuff that Chapman wasn't able to do, even when he was back throwing 100 miles an hour and closing games for Cincinnati.
Well, he's in some rare air right now with what Josh is doing out there. 1-0 to Souza. So many relievers are known for their intensity, and Hader is when he needs to be, but you'd be hard pressed to find a more laid back guy off the field.
Mm-hmm. All under the tutelage of Derek Johnson. Incredible job that he's been able to do. And you consider all the moving pieces in his pitching staff, starters, relievers, and they still continue to get outs. He doesn't get enough credit.
DJ, Manny Pena keeping things relatively simple for Freddie Peralta yesterday in his major league debut. That worked pretty well.
That was a good move.
This club has mixed and matched, and Craig Counsell pressing the right buttons time and again. 3-1 pitch. And now a full count to Souza.
That right there tells you all you need to know about, how deceiving the delivery is for Hader. 3-1, home run hitter up, and a check swing. Just not picking up the baseball all that well.
Hader ready with a payoff pitch. Set down 5 straight has Hader after allowing a leadoff single to John Ryan Murphy in the 7th. Souza, a run scoring double in the 4th for Arizona. Payoff pitch. Back up the middle. Second hit of the night for Steven Souza. Hader has given up singles here in each of the 2 innings out of the bullpen. He will face Ketel Marte. Five hits now for the Diamondbacks. They have stranded 6. Brewers have left 5 on base. Marte has walked and singled. Single his last at bat in the 6th inning. One and one. Diamondbacks team leading National League West by 2.5 games. But they've dropped 5 in a row. The 1-1. Popped him up. Travis Shaw in foul territory. And 2 more good innings of work out of the bullpen for Josh Hader, protecting a 2-run lead for Milwaukee. To the ninth inning here in Phoenix. Time to take a look at what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. Yelich Chassin looking for win number 4. And the former Brewers, Zach Greinke, a 3-2 record, 17-game winner a year ago. Our coverage starts with Brewers Live tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, pretty good start for Chassin against the Rockies. 5 1/3, 2 runs. And Zach Greinke, the former Brewer.
Brewers trying to hang a loss on Patrick Corbin tonight. It would be the first setback of the season for him, as Jonathan Villar trying to bunt his way on a foul ball. A good night for Villar. A couple of singles. He has scored twice. Singles coming from the right side of the plate.
On a night where he didn't even think he was going to be playing.
Brewers have had a few instances of that in the last week or so. You go back to last Tuesday at Miller Park, when Wade Miley had to exit with the oblique injury, and 4 batters into the game, Brent Suter had to come in and pitch very well.
Yeah. When the bullpen barely actually got down there, they were just settling in, and the phone rang.
And of course, yesterday, Freddie Peralta getting his first major league start. Brewers had to shuffle the deck because Chase Anderson was down. Scheduled to go Friday, and they were holding out some hope that he could go Saturday. And when the answer was no, they got Peralta in, and the rest is history.
Yeah, good to see, though, Chase Anderson feeling much better. Down taking batting practice today in the cage before the game, and he was feeling much better on that plane ride last night.
A couple Brewers dealt with it, the stomach issue. 3-1 to Villar. Second inning of work for Fernando Salas. Four runs, 7 hits for Milwaukee. The Brewers have stranded 5. Villar, Arcia, and Yelich here in the top of the 9th. And that is hit well. Out to left center field. Back goes Pollock. It is gone. Jonathan Villar goes opposite field, and it's 5-2 Milwaukee.
They have a night. Oh, he's got incredible power. Man, opposite field for Villar, where it really didn't seem like the ball was carrying for anybody else. Just powers that one out of the ballpark. Well, he got one out over the plate and gave it a ride. Watch the way he stays back. That's a nice swing, and just jumps off his bat, carries out of here. Been a number of balls, maybe 3 or 4 that you thought might have a shot tonight. Villar able to get one out of here.
Both of Villar's home runs from the left side of the plate, and in both instances going opposite field. This to left center. The other in New York, where it just hugged down the right field or the left field line. Brewers fans having some fun right now at Chase Field.
Yeah. A number of them.
2-strike pitch to Arcia. Tried to check, and he did. Alan Porter, the first base umpire. The bottom of the order continues to deliver for Milwaukee.
Something, isn't it?
Man.
7 hits, 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored.
The 1-2. That's out number 1 here in the 9th.
Hey, you'll never miss a second of the action with MLB.TV Premium. Enjoy HD streams of all out-of-market games on over 400 different devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com at-bat premium subscription when you sign up.
Here's Christian Yelich, came off the bench in the 7th inning, delivered a run-scoring single that gave the Brewers a 3-2 lead. Continues to come through and help this ball club, Christian Yelich. This Kane-Yelich combo, while they're not hitting 1-2 in the order tonight, Kane is, but Yelich coming off the bench, that duo has been as advertised, if not even a little bit better through the first month and a half.
Some continuity in that lineup, right? I mean, those two are in there just about every day. Top of the order, both of them getting on base consistently.
Taking care of business in the outfield. Back up the middle. And that's going to be a base hit for Yelich. 2 for 2 off the bench tonight is Yelich. Hit number 9 now for the Crew. Back to the top of the order, and Lorenzo Cain. Very good OPS and an on-base percentage of .392 for Cain. Arizona bullpen getting roughed up a little bit tonight. Count is even to Cain. That home run that Salas allowed, by the way, the first one that he has given up since the end of March. It's the season's first couple of days. As you look at Tyler Saladino on deck. One pitch.
Rento's had a couple of pretty good pitches to hit tonight. I know he got a hanging breaking ball earlier tonight that he just missed. That was a pretty good pitch to hit that last one. Fastball out over the plate. Sometimes you have days like that.
Cain had a double taken away. Good play by Descalso to start the ball game tonight. Here's the 1-2. And that is out number 2. 4 strikeouts now for Fernando Salas. Here's Tyler Saladino. His Brewers debut in the Rockies series, and he helped the club. Had a starting role yesterday at shortstop. A couple of hits.
Yeah, looked good. I mean, very good defensively as well. Had a couple of hits, an RBI.
Brewers acquired him for the White Sox a month ago. It's like yet another nice pickup by David Stearns, the Milwaukee general manager. Salas with a strike. 2 runs in the 7th to break the tie. Little insurance here in the 9th for Milwaukee on the Jonathan Villar home run.
Craig Counsell seems to be able to push the right buttons, right? I mean, you see that, Braun's not going to play. You have to put Perez out in left. And I guess after yesterday with a left-hander on the mound, you're figuring Saladino's your guy at second base, right? He goes with VR. Look at the night he's put together.
Yeah, go figure.
And same thing yesterday.
Saladino to center field. Pollock a long run. Can't get it. It's going to go to the wall. Yelich will score. Saladino rounding third. Eddie Cedar waving him around. Throw to the plate. And safe at home is Saladino. An inside the park home run.
What a send by Ed Cedar. I didn't think he was going to send him. And he said, you know what, why not? We got a lead, let's see if he can get it, and he did. Boy, oh boy, how about that?
Like we were saying, this Saladino kid's helping the ball club.
Goodness gracious. Check it out, you know, fastball out over the plate, and Saladino, check out Pollock. He's going to dive for it, and once it gets by him, you figured he's got a shot at it. Like Peralta on his horse, he got there, but watch Ed Cedar. If you can see him, a very late send. He's not doing much yet, and now right about here says, go ahead. He didn't have much left, did he?
He did. The tank was getting low.
Yeah, but he made it. An inside the park home run. Yep, and a 3 spot for the Crew here in the 9th.
A 5-run lead for Milwaukee. Meanwhile, the athletic trainer for the Diamondbacks is looking over A.J. Pollock. As when he dove, it looks like the left hand is bothering him right now.
Yeah, last thing the Diamondbacks need.
Yeah, this is the player of the month in the National League in April. He's just having a really good start to his season. It's probably, from the Arizona perspective, that's a little flashback to a couple of years ago. He's going to come out. Remember, near the end of spring training, suffered a broken elbow and didn't return until late August. This just looks like he's flexing that hand a little bit, or he was a moment ago. And
get him out of there. Yeah, get him out of there. Get some ice on it. Maybe ready for tomorrow. But what this does, that's what I would imagine they're going to sit Knable down, and I see Taylor Williams getting loose in the bullpen. I think that's him out there, and I guess no sense in starting the inning at least with Knable. Not a save situation at this point.
Saladino still gasping for air a little bit.
There you go.
You're right. It is Williams up.
No sense in bringing Knable in a non-save situation. The Brewers with a 5-run lead. I don't think he had enough in him to go through the gauntlet, did he?
I don't think so.
I think he just sat down and let the guys come to him.
Yeah. The gauntlet found him. 3 here in the 9th now as the Brewers pop the lead to 7-2. There's going to be some adjustments here for the Diamondbacks as Pollock comes out. It's the new center fielder, Steven Souza. To the plate is Jesus Aguilar. Devin Marrero, the new third baseman now for Arizona. 1-1 the count to Aguilar. Looking for his first hit. Brewers have 10 hits in the game. Salas giving up a couple of home runs here in the inning. VR goes over the wall in left center. Saladino with an inside the park home run. That, by the way, the first home run for Tyler Saladino since late August of 2016. 108 games. 3-1 pitch. Bouncer over to short. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in the ninth, but a good ninth inning. It started with a bang here in the ninth. Jonathan VR going oppo for his second homer of the year. And Tyler Saladino inside the park home run. 7-2 Brewers in the ninth. Inning, the home run ball. One left the yard, the other did not. 3-run ninth inning. 7-2 Brewers over the Diamondbacks as Taylor Williams looking to finish this one off.
Yeah, Williams last pitched on Friday against the Rockies. An inning and 2/3, he gave up a run. It was a home run that he allowed, a couple of strikeouts to go along with it. Another guy that has more strikeouts than innings pitched. He's averaging nearly 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. 21 of them in 13 innings.
So with the Brewers able to extend the lead, Corey Knebel take a little break. Taylor Williams gets the opportunity. He'll face Nick Ahmed leading off the bottom of the ninth inning. Ahmed with a sacrifice fly in the fourth inning. That tied the game at 2. Diamondbacks held to just 5 hits here so far. Good night's work from Junior Guerra. 6 innings of 3-hit 2-run ball.
Interesting how he got it done though, right? I mean, all fastballs just about. Not just one way to get outs in the big leagues. I mean, you have to go against your trends every now and again. I think that's what the point was. He's been very creative this year. If you think about his starts.
Right.
I mean, he's had good splitters. There's been times where he's had that pitch, and there's other times he's gone curveball. Today, large majority fastballs.
Yeah, for a good chunk of the game, more than 80% of his offerings were fastballs. 2-1 the count to Ahmed leading off the ninth. Brewers trying to secure their 15th road win and 25th win overall. Game 5 of this 10-game road swing for Milwaukee. Back here tomorrow night and Wednesday afternoon, and then they'll play the Twins starting Friday night. A wave and a miss. Out number 1.
Catcher, John.
Man, it looked like that had a little cut action to it right there, that pitch. It fooled Ahmed, and he swung right through it. Check it out. Watch the action on that pitch. A little cut to it at 97.
Good luck.
I don't know if he tried to do that, but every now and again, that's the way it works out.
One away for John Ryan Murphy. He's been on base twice. He walked in the third, singled in the seventh. In fact, that single led off the inning against Josh Hader. And then Hader promptly set down the next three hitters. Slider missing, 1-1. Big strikeout numbers for Taylor Williams when called upon. One and two the count. Two seasons wiped out. Tommy John surgery. Nice comeback story going on for Taylor Williams. Alex Avila waits on deck. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Brewers scored first again tonight. That has been a very good sign this season for Milwaukee. A full count now to John Ryan Murphy.
They're scoring first and night games.
They're all about both.
Good combination, hitting homers. Yeah.
What was good about yesterday, they won a day game. Day games have not been kind. Broke that trend. Out to center field. Kane, the running catch. Out number 2.
Now, good running catch by Lorenzo Kane down on the end of the bat, 97 miles an hour. Check out Kane. Look at the jump on this baseball. Kind of just cruises to it. Yeah, no problem.
He is so in control out there. Kind of has his cruising speed, knows what he has to do to get there.
It's all about the first step. And he's got a great first step. And makes what is normally going to be a highlight catch for some relatively routine. He learned that from Mike Cameron.
He learned well. 2 outs here in the 9th inning, and Alex Avila pick up from finished his year last year with the Cubs, sent over from the Tigers. As you can see, he has had a world of trouble getting going at the plate. Williams looking for a clean 9th inning and give the Brewers what would be their 20th night game victory of the year. They would improve to 20-8 under the lights. The ball is strike to Avila. The last 3 games, Avila is 0 for 7, 7 strikeouts. 1-1 the count. Make it 1-2.
Those of us that have been there, that's not a nice feeling.
Little lonely, huh?
Yeah, it is. You go up there, you're just kind of lost up there at the plate. But you know, it only takes one. Sometimes just taking a pitch snaps you out of it.
He's a veteran, was an all-star 7 years ago. Here's the 1-2. That's in play, and the Brewers win it. They take the opener of the series. Taylor Williams gets a 1-2-3 9th inning. Christian Yelich breaking the tie, run-scoring single in the 7th inning. And And the Brewers, little home run power as well. Villar goes deep, and Saladino goes inside the park as the Brewers win the opener of this series 7-2. Let's send it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio where Dario Melendez standing by with Brewers Live.